It's supposed to be safest. You're supposed to hear that and feel the lowest level of crime should be within that area. But in recent days, the abduction stories, kidnap, it's becoming one too many. And we hope that the police will continue with the good work. 10 suspects arrested. Let's find out if they were really behind the kidnappings that we've been recording in the past couple of days. If they are not, then they should be let loose and let go. But let's get to the bottom of this problem. National Assembly raises Works Ministry budget to over 1 trillion naira. Now, that is one ministry that I have been waiting for some sort of investigation to go into as well, because, I mean, the Ministry of Works, a lot of money goes in there because of the infrastructure development, road, train, the rest of them, road, I beg your pardon, and other infrastructure. And I don't know, have we had the EFCC or ICPC or some sort of investigation into the monies that are put into the Ministry of Works and how they are being spent? Well, their budget now has been raised to 1 trillion naira. There's still more. That's not all. There's still more. This one here says abducted Kaduna Abuja road travelers' families beg public for 50 million naira ransom. Many feared dead, 15 hospitalized as massive explosion rocks Ibadan. All of those you would find on the Punch newspaper. But that's not all. We get on to the Vanguard now and see what we have here on the Vanguard. It's interesting. Tinubu, Wike, rise against insecurity, vow renewed action. We know that the president had meetings with the service chiefs and other security personnel to discuss the situation in the country. I mean, with what we had in Plateau State, we also had in Benue State and several parts of the north. I think it's a major concern and something urgent should be done. Here we see the FCT minister and the president talking tough. Tinubu, Wike, rise against insecurity, vow renewed action. That's what you will see. 2027, Nigeria will rise again through merger parties, Utomi insists. He had also said earlier, if we followed the headlines yesterday, that the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Kwankwaso would come together to form a party. My question was, who then becomes the presidential candidate in that party? Well, we'll go for a commercial now. When we come back, we take your messages on Facebook, WhatsApp, and we open the phone lines. To stay with us. Some more headlines on the Vanguard before we get onto the phone lines. My name is Ifeami Andrew, 29 minutes before 7 o'clock. And it's the newspaper review segment on the Morning Crossfire. This one says, buildings destroyed as explosion rocks Ibadan. Illegal miners behind Ibadan explosion. Makinde. Those are headlines you would find there on the Vanguard newspaper. And this one is really sad. I think this headline here explained exactly what I was trying to say when we had the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration and all that was being done in that celebration. And I said it yesterday. And now, look at this. The headline on the Vanguard says, Nigerian soldier commits suicide in Ogun over unpaid allowances. And I was saying just this yesterday, it's not just about having the Remembrance Day and on TV, you have the wreath, you come lay the wreath and you do all of that stuff. The real thing is the structure that is on ground for these soldiers and policemen. That's the real thing. And the fact that if you don't do that, every Remembrance Day you do in the eyes of a lot of people would mean almost nothing. It would just look like eye service. Let's mark the day for the sake of marking the day. The Remembrance Day is to remember those that have fallen. And most importantly, we should have the things on ground to make sure that we reduce the number of fallen heroes. So if our heroes will fall, it will not be because they fell in war. Let it be that they grew old, were sick, or some natural causes. As much as possible. And even the ones that fall, what system is on ground to cater for their families, to know that wherever they are resting, they look and say, my service, my sacrifice was not in vain. And now if this headline as it runs says a soldier is committing suicide because of unpaid allowances, I'm pretty sure the economic situation, it could be anything, a lot of things that could be playing in his head. Sometimes post-traumatic stress, PTS, and the stuff you're seeing at war and all of those things, they play a huge role in the mind of a soldier. And what do we have with health insurance? What sort of health insurance do we cover these guys? How wide is it? The questions are enormous. If we want the Remembrance Day to be really what it should be, first we should have to deal with all of these things. So far, that's where we are. Edo 2024. How far will Akpata's push for growth, prosperity go? Find out. We open the phone lines now. Let's get your thoughts quickly. Remember, you have just a limited time to express your opinion. Try to keep it very short and also be very principled and polite with the choice of words and how you express your idea. 0817 923 0007. 0817 923 0003. I'll take the number again, 0817 923 0007. For those who are first-time callers, you're a listener, you've not called before, just take the number down, keep dialing it. It's not really easy. We have a lot of people trying to call at the same time. So just keep dialing. All right, keep dialing. Don't give up on it. 0817 923 0002. So either of those three numbers, you can call any of them. I'll be going through the numbers repeatedly at intervals. On Facebook, Ibuchi Moyegam says, channel. Okay. Pedro Brai is telling somebody to channel their energy to life and leave politics. I don't. Unwala God's Power says, screening of resigned commissioners is illegal in the eyes of the law. They are no longer House members as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, only the governor is empowered to submit names of commissioners to the House of Assembly, but till now we don't know how those names were submitted. The clerk that signed the memo has been redeployed now, hasn't he? Meaning that he's no longer the clerk of the House. Fourthly, the government should clear the air on this matter. Thank God Ability says, do we really have Ministry of Special Duty in Rivers State? If fire service marshals are not ready to do their work, they should fold now. The manner in which fire service marshals neglect distress call when there's fire outbreak in the state calls for urgent attention. We can say that, but you know that they've also stated what their complaints are. And some of those complaints are legit, very legit complaints. Regardless, they have to understand that their services is actually one that is a call to honor and sacrifice. You might not have all the tools that you need to do the work, but doesn't mean you just sit down and say, now, this, so I'm not going to do anything. That's not what you signed up for. You still have to make certain level of efforts and do the best that you can with the little that you have. While the call for government to continue to invest more into that department is made louder. The sad thing is, I think the Nigerian culture, maybe, I don't know if that's what I would describe it as, where you, for whatever reason, you just feel government might not want to put a lot of money into that place and equip it and, ensure that it is running, because for some people it might look like a waste of funds because fire doesn't come every day. And that's where we make the mistake. The fires might not come every day, but the day it comes, are we ready? And we don't look like, because when you look at the Nigerian system, politics, government, and the rest of them, there's always up in government. So then you would understand why the government runs the way it runs. So who would? Some people might look at it as we are paying money to these people, we are giving them their allowances, fire trucks, we are maintaining, we are fueling, we are all those other things we are doing. When there's no fire in a year, how many fires do we have? I'm sure that some people might be having that conversation even. And that's why certain budgets that should go to that area might not go there as it ought to. That's the truth. These things could be happening. Patrick Amadi says, good morning, Ifeemi. The appointment of permanent secretaries by the governor is apolitical. Why now that the commissioner wants to be screened? I don't know. I don't understand that one. President Tinubu said that the former president left so many battles. He didn't say problems. He said battles for him. He is correct. President Tinubu tried to do the ones you can handle. Patrick Amadi sent that one in. Okay. The phone lines 0817 923 0007. 0817-923-0003. You can also call 0817-923-0002. Please tell us your name, where you are calling from, and then you go straight to the point. Hello, Nigeria Info. Good morning. Okay, we lost that call. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Yeah, Ifeemi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Stanley Ayamad. I'm calling from Elelewo.
All right, go on.
The House is set to screen a former commissioners that they submitted their names. Each time I listen to people, some people will say those guys are no longer, that they are former House of Assembly members. I don't know what made them former. I don't know. Ifeemi, also trying to educate these people. These guys got an expert from a federal high court, Abuja. They hinge their defense on the problem in PDP. The problem in PDP that has to do with the secretarial position, which two persons are laying claims to, to the position of the secretary. And these people went to court, asking Federal High Court not to allow INEC or anybody declare their seat vacant, and which they got that expertise. And they've been, extending that expertise before now. So I don't know why people will come out, they will be talking, hey, former House members. What made them former House members? They are not former House members. And the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Chika-Mehule, have told us that he is the only one that has the power to change the clerk, not the governor. The governor does not. The governor or the head of service has no power to change the clerk. So the clerk remains the clerk, and those names were submitted by the governor. Governor, and they submitted those names to the clerk.
No, the governor did not say. There's been no confirmation from the governor that those names are submitted by
from
him.
The governor. Those names are from the governor.
How did you get?
I'm putting it to you.
No, you can't put it to me without facts. We need a document.
Fact,
no, there's a document.
The governor should come out and deny it.
Was there a document that was released to announce the screening and appointment? Appointment of the permanent secretaries.
Which permanent secretary?
The permanent secretaries that were recently sworn in.
The ones that were.
Yes. Was there a document for it? Did the government make an announcement?
No, we didn't hear anything about that one.
Oh, you didn't hear? Well, the government made an announcement. Yes. I saw the document myself. I looked at it with my eyes and saw the 16 names. and the venue for everything that was going to happen and all. So for this, we haven't heard the government say, "Oh, we are submitting." What's the procedure of if Tinubu is when he was doing the screening for the senators, if you remember, how did the exercise go?
Yes.
He submitted the names to the assembly, right?
They will submit the names to the
Exactly.
assembly.
And it was not hidden; it was made public. So for this one, people will say what they say. I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. Thank you, Amadi.
Yes,
I get what you're saying.
Come out and deny it now.
We don't know. Thank you, but we'd have to wait for it. Now, everything you have said is your opinion. It could be right when you put it on ground. There are other people who also would look at the actions that were taken by some of the lawmakers before this time and say, because of these actions, these other actions that these people took still does not make sense. So it's now before the law to explain to everyone who is right, who is wrong, who should be and who should not be. But you cannot, this is what you cannot do at the end of the day. You cannot change the perspective or views of a person about this. It's in INEC, just like the elections, we have a president, INEC conducted elections. There are people till today who will still tell you they do not believe the result. They do not, regardless of what the Constitution has said, what we have, and we even have a government running. So that in that area, there's almost nothing you can do, but you keep stating what is on the ground, and then the people will look at it and make their decisions. Nigerian, for good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Alfred. I'm calling you from Memo.
All right, Alfred, go on.
Andrew, it's so unfortunate and so unfair that there's someone will call and then cannot make a very good or correct statement. Andrew, you hear on radio every day before this permanent secretary was sworn in by the governor yesterday. Every day, hear the announcement. And then that announcement is coming from the governor himself. But you've not heard any announcement before this commissioner, their name was sent by the governor. And it was clearly announced. Everybody heard it that the governor has submitted two persons to the assembly for commissioner designate. But this one, we did not hear. All we heard that the clerk submitting names. Are they going to work for the clerk or they are going to work for the governor? Well, that aside, President Tinubu telling us this morning that he had battles. He inherited battles from the former President Buhari. See, my brother, I'm so worried that each government that comes in would begin to complain and complain and complain. You know of all this before you accepted to be the president. And you have said that while you're coming, you have an agenda to solve problems. So why are you complaining now? You have the agenda. Work on your agenda and see how it's going to help you. Don't come and complain to us.
All right.
You know that Nigeria has problems. Don't complain to us again.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria Info. Oh, we lost that call. Good morning to you, Nigeria Info.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you're calling from Manila.
All right, Wiley, go on.
The State House Assembly, led by Martin Aleveli, the Speaker, the Speaker, has to discreet. If you want development, we need peace. For people to ask if the governor signed it now. He was not that signed the agreement. So why is he expecting him to send them again? That was an agreement he signed at Abuja. He came back here. He said he's going to be the sacrifice he's going to pay for peace. So he's going to implement everything. So why is he asking if he sent them or not? That is the agreement. So these people will go ahead and do what they agreed. So we should just forget about that area because that is the agreement. So if they are doing it, we should forget about those things. The governor is aware. So if he's implementing the whole thing he signed. So we should forget about hitting our head for what the whole water. The governor is aware of what is happening in the State House of Assembly. And there's one thing I want to remind you. The assembly building is demolished. Has he started building it back? I want to ask you a question. Has he started building it back? But if he said that the place is leaking and he demolished it, I thought by now you start.
Hello? Oh, man. You hung up. I was waiting for you to finish. Nigeria Info, good morning. Oh, we lost that call too. Is this something from the service providers or what? Nigeria Info, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
All right, morning to you.
Yes, my name is J.A.J. and I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Oh, JJ, go ahead.
And the last time I checked was that the governor need to or ought to send the list back to the assembly for screening. That's based on the agreement. But if they are sending, you know the pattern now. They will announce the names and all those. Then before the assembly will now invite them. I don't know if that was done. And for the question the last person asked, for the assembly building, it's in the 2024 budget. So people should check and see how they can go about it. And for party having crisis, Andrew, based on the Constitution, what the Constitution calls crisis, is that there will be parallel secretariat, like what you have in the APC Rivers at the time, where you have Freedom House somewhere, a secretariat for the Magnus faction, and you have somewhere around the Aba Road, a secretariat for the Amechi faction. At the time, they used water lines and garrison. I don't know if you remember, where you have chairmen and all, not just secretary. What is the secretary, for goodness sake? So the party had no crisis. But that's not why I called. I called because of the 16 permanent secretaries that were sworn in yesterday. These are people that have grown through the ropes, and before now you just pick people anyhow. But the governor, who is also a career civil servant that knows his onion, has decided to pick people based on merit so that they can work the work very well. So when people are insinuating that there's political undertone, I don't know where they get that from. Well, maybe because they are seeing politics taking place over time from, I don't want to call their name, but everybody, else people know. So for me, there's no political undertone in those appointments. And conclusively, my one trader, just yesterday, the governor said we'll open the market. Now protests have started. It reminds me of a man who told the children that will buy gun, and if he buy the gun, he will use it to shoot antelope. The man have not seen money for gun. He doesn't even know where they buy gun. The children have started fighting who will eat the lap, and they say, so please be careful and allow that market.
All right, JJ, thank you. Nigeria Info, good morning. And then we lost that call. Good morning to you, Nigeria Info. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yep, go on.
Yeah. Precious Baka calling from Mokinyeche.
All right, go ahead.
Let me join three issues that have brought us to where we are today. I want to ask, during this crisis, was any suspended in the dictionary? If it was suspended by the assembly members during their legislative function, was they recalled? The answer is no. If it was not recalled, definitely the contention was still bounding on him. So he still should be a member of that house. He was suspended. Then secondly, was there a recall process against these 27 lawmakers? The answer is yes. If yes, that means there was a crisis in the party that led to them to defect to APC. And thirdly, the commissioners that left, that resigned, when the father and the son is quarreling, what do you expect them to do? Would that be between doors of war for them? The answer is no. So they left, and now it's time for them to come back since the crisis has started. Thank you, and God bless you. Precious.
All right, Precious, thank you very much. Well, there are people that would argue that if Edison here was suspended at that time, was the suspension done following the process that it should follow? That's why I said if you're going to go on this, we will go back and forth because there's always something to pick, something to look at to say, how did you do this? Why did you do this? The court orders that came in. The list will go. It's endless. It's typically endless. But going forward, Rivers people, I'm pretty sure, are concerned because they expect that, okay, now if we're going forward, things should be done orderly and following the process that it should follow. And that's why if you have people now saying, oh, we did not know whether the governor submitted list, we did not, it's because people are just saying, let's do things orderly. On Facebook, Ibuchim Oyegam says National Assembly are expected to take over the legislative activities in the state by now, though we are taking cognizance of PDP governance in the state. Odinaka Chiwoike says I commiserate the family of the soldier who committed suicide because of unpaid allowance, while calling on government to do more for those who protect the nation with their lives. Pedro Bryce says, sir, it's a very simple matter. The governor is very secretive. Let him come out and make a statement. He submitted those names. Okay. Lorenzo Delight, you are saying those analysts and lawyers talking against renomination of commissioners are just wasting time. So long as it's part of the resolution signed, it must be fulfilled. No matter what the governor says, people will still believe that the appointment of permanent secretaries have political tone. People should be safety conscious and avert incessant fire outbreak. And then President Tinubu asserting that Buhari left so many battles for him is very correct. Emeka Collins on Facebook, you say, Mr. Ifeami, good morning. The process of screening and appointing commissioners is different from the process of appointing permanent secretaries. The announcement is usually done by the House when they invite them. My brother, were you not in this state? The commissioners that the former administration, if I have not seen this thing, maybe I would not be saying now. The announcement, Collins, Chukwuemeka, Odu. The names, the list of those. First of all, people make nominations are made. Suggestions people could bring to the governor, different names, and the governor forms the list, and then you forward it to the House, and then the House will screen those people that the governor has presented or the president, depending on the case. We screen them, and in some cases, if they find anything that's in error, they would reverse back and say, this person, because of this reason, we don't think he should be here. Then the governor would either know whether they would maybe liaise or change the name, whatever. But then the assembly screens them and see that they are fit, and then the governor appoints them and then swear them in. This one says, permanent secretaries are working for the state executive and requires invitation to them through direct announcement. Because in Chukwuemeka, please also ensure that my brother on WhatsApp. Okay, let's see some of the messages here. Ibiso says, good morning, Ifeami. With all this happening in the state, to me, I think we are not in a decent society. The president down to local government, if we're in a decent society, we will not be talking about this. Okay. Another one says, good morning. Those talking about renomination of 9 commissioners, okay, I think we already took that before. Skillful Piro, you sent that in on Facebook. Ifeami, what is really going on in Rivers State? Has it become a banana republic? These people come on radio to talk with both sides of their mouth. Please help me ask them. Why would someone come to speak, governor, like he doesn't have a say in his government? I don't understand. Lady G from Peter Odili Road, you're asking that question. And then I'll take this one before we go on the commercial. Good morning, presenter. Governor Fubara appointment of 16 permanent secretaries is a welcome development and is promising civil servants top priority. Is okay, but forgetting the local government council workers, are they not civil servants in this state? They are in the state, but then you also understand that constitutionally, local government. I had spoken with the Commissioner for Information about it, and we got his response. Regardless, we'll keep talking about it. I know that something can be done, and it would be done. My name is Ifeami Andrew. Let's take a commercial now. Stay tuned.
It's a new year, a new beginning, and the time for transformation has come.